This episode of Nerdist News is brought to you by FX's What We Do in the Shadows, premiering tomorrow, March 27th on FX. The new Avengers Endgame posters confirm who lived and died in Infinity War. We're 1 month out from the release of Avengers Endgame, and fans are as excited as Peter Parker when he first donned the Iron Spider suit.
Mr. Stark, it smells like a new car in here!
After giving us a couple of weeks to digest the latest trailer, Marvel dropped a ton of new Endgame posters this week that confirmed who lived and died in the events surrounding the titular Infinity War, with many of the actors posting to their socials the status of their characters, with color posters representing those who made it and black and white for those who didn't. While we already knew about the fate of quite a few of these characters going into Endgame, there are a few surprises that came along with these poster drops. So let's sweep through all the dust to find the answers. Right off the bat, let's talk about the biggest death confirmation to come from these posters. Among the fallen is everyone's favorite meme queen, Shuri, Princess of Wakanda.
What are those?
While we didn't catch a glimpse of Shuri turning to dust at the end of Infinity War, a hint of her fate came with the first Endgame trailer, where she appears on a screen as missing, along with Spider-Man and Ant-Man. However, in that same spot, we see Scott Lang is clearly alive when he showed up on the Avengers security cam. This detail led many, including us, to suspect that Shuri's missing status was a red herring and that she might have made it through after all. So the reveal of Shuri's black and white poster here came as a shock, as it now appears she has joined her brother T'Challa in the big orange soul stone in the sky. As for other confirmed dead characters, well, it was no surprise to see black and white posters of pre-snap departed heroes like Loki and Gamora. However, noticeably missing was Idris Elba's Heimdall, who was the very first to die in Infinity War. As for the other fallen, we've got posters for the rest of the Guardians, Star-Lord, Drax, Groot, Mantis, as well as Avengers alums like Vision, Falcon, Spider-Man, and Scarlet Witch. Alongside them were other characters like the aforementioned Black Panther, Nick Fury, the Wasp, Doctor Strange, and the Winter Soldier, all of whom were dusted by Thanos' snap. So with that long list of dearly departed, who exactly survived to avenge them? We've got posters for the core 6 Avengers who are all over the Endgame trailers: Tony Stark, Steve Rogers, Natasha Romanoff, Thor, Bruce Banner, and Clint Barton. Joining the mix, there's also Ant-Man, Captain Marvel, War Machine, Nebula, Okoye, and Rocket Raccoon. But we knew all of them survived, right? So what about those whose fates were unknown, like Valkyrie? She lives! Looks like she made the cut to lead what is left of the Asgardians. What about Iron Man's pal, Happy Hogan? He's alive. Wong? Yep, he survived to get that tuna melt.
I wouldn't say no to a tuna melt.
Pepper Potts? Yep, Gwen's alive as well. This definitely adds to our theory that it's going to be Pepper, aka Rescue, who is going to rescue Tony Stark in space. However, not every character got a poster. In fact, there were quite a few who got missed, maybe because they weren't big enough or maybe because of spoilers, but let's run them down anyway. From the Spider-Man corner of the world, we have no idea what happened to Ned Leeds, Aunt May, and MJ. There's also no M'Baku poster, but we know our favorite vegetarian survived the snap since we saw him in Wakanda, surrounded by people tragically turning to dust in the end of Infinity War. What about Korg and Meek from Thor Ragnarok?
My name is Korg. I'm kind of like the leader in here.
They were on the Asgardian ship when Thanos and his children showed up to smite half of them. Now we know for sure that Valkyrie is alive. Could Korg and Meek be with her alive and well? We can only hope. We also have no idea if Peter Dinklage's master blacksmith Eitri went all dusty. Since he's the last person with the skills to operate the Nidavellir Forge, it would be good to know if he's alive in case Thor ever needs another weapon made, or if anyone is in the market for another Infinity Gauntlet. So there you have it. It's nice that Marvel is figuring out how to market Endgame while still keeping most of the plot hidden from audiences. We only have a month left until we find out which of these characters will live, die, or stay dead. But what do you folks think? Were you surprised at any of the characters confirmed alive or dead? Besides Spidey, who do you think absolutely must be brought back to life by the end of Endgame? And what other minor characters do you want to know the fate of? Let's discuss. Thanks again to our sponsor, What We Do in the Shadows. From the director of Thor Ragnarok and 1/3 of the creators of Flight of the Conchords comes a comedy series you can really sink your teeth into. Based on the cult classic film, What We Do in the Shadows is a documentary-style look into the daily, or rather nightly, lives of 4 vampires who've lived together for hundreds of years in Staten Island. Tune in to the series premiere tomorrow at 10 on FX.